How do I use a set of calculations to trim the data out of a graph that I wish to use? I have in front of me a set of data that was collected from a motion sensor, and I want to collect the set of data that is within this range. The first step to this is to open up the Tools palette at the bottom of the graph. Next, I'm going to select the Smart tool, grab the box of the Smart tool, and then move it over to the first data point for the set. And in this case, we can see that the timestamp on this is 1.1 seconds. Next, we'll move this to the end of the data set so we can get the timestamp on that data point. And in this case, we can see that that is 3.85 seconds. Next, we're going to proceed to the calculator. We'll click on the experiment tools, and then we'll click on calculated data. I've previously entered in some equations that are going to help us filter this data down. The moving part for this one is to put in the both lower limit and the upper limit of the time ranges that we wish to have the data displayed for. So in this first entry area, we'll punch in 1.1. The units for this are in seconds. And then for the second one, we'll type in 3.85. I'll go ahead and press enter on my keyboard. And then I'll click on done on the lower right-hand side. And then click on OK. So the data displayed here is the raw position data. However, each of the calculations that I've generated have their own outputs that can be displayed on the graph. I'll click on the vertical axis, and then I'm going to go over to user entered data. That's where the calculations reside. And then on the final entry, I'm going to click on filtered position. And now you can see we are only displaying the data within the time range that we have selected. And even if I zoom out, both on the vertical and horizontal axis, you can see that the data outside of this range is no longer there. If you wish to auto zoom on this data set, open up the tool palette and click on auto scale. You'll see that we'll zoom in on only the data that we're interested in.